It is a privilege to introduce the leadership behind Amba Shakti Group, a name that stands for strength, trust and excellence in the steel industry. Now, the Amba Shakti Group was founded in 1974 by Mr. S.K. Goel, whose vision, hard work and commitment to quality laid the foundation of this remarkable organization. His values continue to guide the group even today. Carrying the strong legacy forward are the managing directors, Akshat Goel and Dhruv Goel, two dynamic leaders shaping the future of the company. Akshat Goel brings a strong focus on operations, quality and efficacy. He's played a key role in strengthening manufacturing processes, embracing modern technology and ensuring consistent excellence in every product. Dhruv Goel, on the other hand, brings innovation and a forward-looking approach. He's driving the organization towards sustainability, automation and new age growth, making Amba Shakti Group future-ready. Together, Akshat and Dhruv represent the perfect blend of tradition and modern vision, taking the group to new heights while staying rooted in its core values. In fact, I want to begin with, I need your introductions first. I know that you're the managing directors, but I want to hear it from you. I think Akshat can go first and then Dhruv can take it.
Sure. So I joined the business around 12 years ago.
Okay.
And when I graduated. And so we already did have a lot of factories till then. Yeah. My father, my uncle had built up the company. We started from a small plant in Uttar Pradesh, and my grandfather started this entire business. My dad and my uncle, they took it forward and they built it into an empire that it is today. Yeah. We have multiple plants in the country, spanning 19 states where we are present with our product, and we have a combined production capacity of more than 1 million tons. So when I came in, the call was, should we be in the same business? Should we do something else? Yeah. But when we realized that there is a very strong demand of steel in India, and we did some exercises and it was found that over the next 5 to 10 years, the demand was going to increase multifold. It was suggested that there was going to be a 4-fold increase in the consumption of steel, which is actually proving to be true. So we decided to expand in this area itself, and we built bigger and better plants. So that was my role into the company, was to get foreign collaborations to come in. We got the technologies from UK, from Germany, and we built the plants to the latest standards so that we can provide the best TMT bars to our customers. Yeah. So once we established that and we got the word out to the public, they were very happy with the product, and we haven't really looked back since.
When you say things like the public being happy with the product and you not having to look back because of the kind of quality that you deliver, right? Dhruv, coming to you, I want to understand, how has the journey been so far in terms of, sort of coming down to a certain specific quality? Was quality always the indicator with which Amba Shakti operated? Was that always the core value? Because we know that maybe the consumers in the market have just started looking at it. But for Amba Shakti, was this always the cornerstone that you were operating on?
See, when I came to the business, most of it was already established.
Yeah.
So I had to focus on the research and the development part. And I realized that in the market, our trust was not built overnight. We had delivered consistent quality for over 5 decades. Yeah. And in many states, we were progressively evolving, and there was regional competition. And we realized that in the price-sensitive market, because steel is a commodity, and we had to really fight the local regional players, we realized that we need to give the best steel, but at optimum costing. And since freight was one of the biggest costs that drives the price over long distances especially, we realized that we need to make multiple plants. And when I came in, we adjusted the locations of the plant and we introduced another one. And that specifically reduced the price and increased the quality. We traveled and we brought in one of the best technologies that there was. And we introduced it, and we realized that the quality is consistent and our trust in the consumers have built even more.
Right. Akshat, in fact, I want to understand from you, the steel market, I wouldn't say that it's saturated fully, but I would definitely say that there is a huge bit of competition that you eye when you enter this field and you want to make a mark. So what do you think is the differentiating factor that puts aside, Amba Shakti, that puts you a step ahead of everybody else? All your competitors could do anything they want, but they would not reach that particular mark that Amba Shakti has.
So Amba Shakti over the past 5 decades has created a niche for itself.
Okay.
See, the government had defined steel into 2 areas. There was primary steel, there was secondary steel.
Yeah.
A differentiation that was done away with by the Supreme Court of India 4 years ago. That was because, secondary steel has developed and is now as good as primary steel. There is no secondary or primary anymore. There's just good steel and bad steel in the market. Now, there is a problem because in perception, the primary steel belongs to big players like JSW and Tata and Jindal Panther. And then there are smaller players which don't really, give that sort of quality that a country deserves and our customers deserve. So we were able to give the quality that Tata and JSW make through the technological advancements that we made throughout the years. We were pioneers in most of those technologies. We were one of the first companies that adapted to direct charging. And this was a route which allowed us to conserve energy. I would like to mention our company that we do not use any fossil fuels. It's only electricity. And we took that decision around 15 years ago, where we decided that all our plants will only run on direct charging. That was something that everyone else picked up on as well. We were the first to establish a greenfield project that was based entirely on direct charging. And it saved a lot of energy. It was, the need for fossil fuels was done away with. And today, I would say most of the steel that is made in the country is done through direct charging route.
Okay.
So they followed our lead, and I would say it's beneficial for India as a whole because a lot less fuel is being consumed.
Yeah, of course.
And we went a step further, and we are now putting up solar plants as well, so that even the electricity that we consume,
that's also
it's going to come from renewable sources. Right, so that is something that we are able to provide. And as we mentioned, we have a multi-plant approach. So that means that we are giving, or we are able to deliver the product to the customer at the earliest possible time.
Right.
So the best steel in the least possible amount of time is something that only we can give. The bigger people, they cannot give that kind of services. They have to go through multiple channels. The plants will have first deliver the product to their warehouses. From the warehouses, it will come to the dealers and then to the consumer. And the smaller plants, they don't have the quality to match those bigger plants. We can give both. So that is something that is unique to us. That is something that only we are doing right now in the country.
Right. In fact, Dhruv, I also want to understand from you, like you said that when you entered this business first, it was already 5 decades long, standing strong. So, of course, you've done a lot of research, but you've also seen the evolvement of not just the business, but also the consumer. How has the consumer changed? What is it that the new age consumer wants? So, talk to us about, the awareness point in consumers and how is Amba Shakti, that one name in the market that's addressing all of these concerns that the new age consumers have, especially in relations to, quality or knowing a lot more about your product than you would initially? So,
see, I think in the last 10 years, 12 years, especially when the internet age has come in, a lot of people are more aware of what to buy, how to buy, when to buy, why is it necessary. And there are a certain amount of checks that people are doing now. And even if they had their hands burnt later, let's say 10 years ago, they purchased something and they were not very happy with it and they have faced high risks now. So they understand what is the true meaning of putting good quality construction material in their buildings.
Yeah.
And since steel is one of the biggest backbones, we understood that the people have access to knowledge. They have understood that this is something that they really want. And we were able to supply it. We went to a lot of production areas. We saw the markets where substandard material was lying around, and it was inconsistent in quality, the weight. There was a lot of material in the market that was underweight, and essentially people were supplying 1 mm small than what was required.
Okay.
So people started understanding that these are the certain checks. So even if today, if I have to supply something to the market, I suggest that people just need to take care of 3 points. First of all, just have a look at the ISI mark. That is the compliance of standards. Second, just have a check on what the material's weight is, the consistency of the ribs, if that's okay or not. You don't have to be a technical expert at it, but it's just that it's available.
These are some identifying factors
Correct.
for TMT that
Correct.
tells you whether or not it's good quality.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's general knowledge now. Like people are more aware about it, so it's easier to be done. It's just easy to weigh the whole truck and understand that this is the weight limitations or it's within the parameter or not.
Right.
And then thirdly, I would suggest that have a look at the brand reputation. If a brand has a good reputation, if it has A-listed customers, then you would also be a part of it. So if there's something that has not been proven well over time, suggest don't go there, don't waste money on them. Go to somebody who has been able to give good quality over time, consistently.
Right.
And don't be, if you cut prices, steel producers are going to cut corners. And steel is something that we are not allowed to cut corners. Eventually that bad quality of material will come to your house and you will face issues in another 10 years, 12 years.
Right. In fact, we were also, right before this, we were having a chat about, what your business looks like. What is it that I need to know a lot more before I can sit on the same table and ask you questions? So I want to also, I want you to elaborate on the advanced manufacturing processes. You were speaking about LRF. So that's exactly what I want you to sort of elaborate on. I want you to talk to us about how that's a distinctive factor. What is the weight behind these advanced manufacturing processes?
Right. So as I said that we have sort of been pioneers in our field, and secondary steel was not producing good steel to match that with primary. Then we adopted technologies like LRF to match the quality products like Tata and JSW today. So basically what LRF does is, it's the full form of LRF is ladle refining furnace.
Okay.
So what it does is it refines, as the name suggests, the entire molten metal. So the chemistry of the material, it gets properly mixed together, and we get the best steel, the best chemically tested steel that is possible to be made today.
Okay.
So that is something that the industry as a whole, I feel today has not adopted, but it should, because it has, a cost to it, which they're not really, keen to add to their product. So we took that step, we took that bold step to add that much costing, and TMT, as you know, is a commodity. So it's a volume-driven business. The margins are very low. So to add such a big cost to your product, it's a big thing. So we do that, and we are probably one of the only companies in the country who produce TMT through the LRF route. And so we have showed that to our customers, and we have a strong demand actually for LRF produced steel, because the customers now know that that is good, and it is equivalent to steel that Tata or JSW provides. It's just a lot cheaper.
Yeah. I also want to, now understand that we spoke about JSW, we spoke about Tata. So such big players right next to you, shoulder to shoulder in the same market. even then you would say that Amba Shakti has emerged as the pioneer, especially when it comes to good quality steel. And you also spoke about, the hidden dimensions of what may not meet the consumer's eye,
Right.
but as a group, you want to deliver quality, so you keep that in check. But why are the big players or the other, the other big players that are standing shouldered with you, why do you think they are unable to meet this demand? Because essentially, if you are able to, that sets you apart. So why is it that your competitors are unable to? Is this a difference in plant? Is it a difference in manufacturing or research? Where does this difference stem from?
See, players like Tata and JSW, they have huge manufacturing facilities, and their manufacturing process differs from ours.
Yeah.
So LRF is something which is required in our line of work, in our process, the one that we follow, because they don't really do recycling.
Okay.
And we use scrap steel as well in order to improve our green rating. And so in order to consume that material, we are required to refine it. What JSW and Tata do is they use material that they mine themselves. So they have a different process altogether that they follow. And I would say because their companies, their plants are so big, they don't really feel the need to go on that route. Whereas we, having multiple plants, where it is easier for us to innovate and to implement that R&D. And if it is good, then we just spread it throughout the entire group. And all of the companies then take that same approach.
Right. And in fact, one of the things that, I was personally very excited to speak about, because I really want what insight I could get on this. But India has now shifted. We're not just limited to tier 1 cities anymore or metropolitans. We are originally and in a very quick manner eyeing tier 2 and tier 3 cities as capable markets as well, and especially when it comes to real estate. So people are going to places that are probably a lot more isolated than our general cities, and they want to start building there. So how do you think that shift has come in? The shift of people moving from tier 1 cities to tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India. How do you map that?
So for the longest time, India had a very metrocentric approach. And now people who are in tier 2 and tier 3 cities have the luxury of knowing what is needed in their zones. In tier 2 and tier 3 cities, they are no longer dependent on the metros. They have started creating their own colonies. They have huge housing projects coming up over there. And they don't really want to come to the metros where it is crowded. They have their own quality of living over there. They can accomplish almost everything. They have job opportunities, and everything is essentially available. So tier 2 and tier 3 person, in fact, he has more demand of development. The infrastructure over there is growing. Our government is pushing infrastructure over there, and people have been able to construct warehouses where material can be supplied there directly. In fact, it costs more to have a warehouse in tier 1 city rather than tier 2 and tier 3. So it is accessible for us also. And people can develop their, in the housing community, they can take that steel at a reasonable price, and they can start building over there.
And also, I want to understand, this was about the tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and we spoke about how, the market dynamic or aspirations even are changing. But other than that also, do you think that India's growth story, the fact that there are so many highway projects, there are so many roads, there are so many construction projects that are being opened in India, India is eyeing an infrastructural push, and the government also sits at the helm of this. So do you think that sort of infrastructural push also puts groups like yours in a very good flagrant position?
See, India is the fastest growing economy. And for any growing economy, the backbone of it is infrastructure. Because you require infrastructure for building highways and other assets. Basically, the better the infrastructure is, the faster the movement of goods is, the lesser the costs are. And that is, it all adds up to making the economy grow. So infrastructure it's really important to grow it. And the two things that are essential towards infrastructure is steel
Yeah.
and cement, right? So TMT bars and good TMT bars are the need of the hour. And I would say the entire steel industry supports this initiative. And I would say it's more than ready with all the technological advancements that are now available to us to supply that good quality steel. And I feel that we have the capacities to even cater to the further growing demand. And we know what the demand is going to look like 5-10 years from now. And every person in this industry, I think, is moving towards catering to that demand now.
Right. And in fact, Dhruv, specifically from you, I want to understand, we've spoken a lot about green steel right now, but I don't think that's a term that enough people know about. So first, I want you to go over what green steel exactly is. Is it just the scraps being recycled? And then I also want to understand from you, is it a reality in India on ground, or is it something that's still aspirational for groups and, for corporations who are working with steel?
It is definitely a reality. And I'll tell you what the green steel is. It's basically when we have reduced our carbon emissions to a certain level that compared to the companies that are mining. And we have reached a point where we are just recycling. So essentially, we have reduced an entire process.
Yeah.
And we are just melting what has already been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the entire process has a less amount of electricity that is required, and that electricity itself is being procured from renewable sources, and we are just rolling it away. So the whole drama of getting the material from soil, processing it, then melting it, has been properly evaded. And in our case, like we said, that we do not use any fossil fuels. So that certainly puts an impact on what kind of material that we are making. So what green steel is basically recycling and reducing your costs that puts you in a sustainable mark. And compared to the competition, especially in the North India, we have a lot of players that are already doing this, and it is definitely happening. Plus, the government has a different department that is taking care of this, and they're promoting green steel.
Okay.
They are pushing players to bring down their carbon emissions, and they're giving them ratings. And as per the ratings, if they have a higher rating, then they are subsidizing them per ton. So that's, again, it's a big boost towards our industry, and something that new players who are entering the market is definitely looking up for.
Okay, right. So purchasing power in India has gone up significantly, especially if we look at the last decade. And in that, consumers have been empowered. Now they can actually shift their focus from constantly, trying to look at what is the best bargain that I can get in market, to actually thinking that what is the best quality, what's the best deliverable that I can get in the market. So is that shift of mindset from not looking at the price point but the quality, has that impacted the steel industry, and has that impacted Amba Shakti specifically?
So, yeah, we have definitely seen a change in the consumer mindset. And now the consumer does not talk about, is yours the cheapest? They actually ask for, what grade your material is. Are you able to provide these specific grades? And we are very happy because, that was needed. And we already had the technological advancements in place to cater to those needs. And now I would say more than 80%, 90% of our steel is the highest grade steel that the customer wants to pay for, actually. The LRF steel, it has an added cost to it, but the customers are very aware of it now, and they're actually asking for it. And as you said, the purchasing power has gone up. And the person, I would say the normal middleman has also understood that, the house is built once or twice in a lifetime, right? So you should make its core strong. Other things can be replaced, it can be changed, but you can never change the structure of any building. So it's very important that, they build the best possible house that they can. And I would say it was long overdue that the customer had this mindset, and I'm very happy that they finally come to this, and the shift has happened.
Yeah. So, yes,
In
please.
fact, this demand has been coming across mainly from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
Okay, so it brings us back to the
Yes.
first point that we were making, yes. And also I want to understand that, you have seen this group, you have taken it over, you've gotten it in possession from your father. So there's no doubt that he's the one who's actually been able to establish something like this so many years back, right? So what's one sort of traditional ideology that the Amba Group has that you still hold close to your core? And what's changed? What's a new ideology that's also stepped in? Because we have two young men taking over the Amba Group. You're looking at all operations. So I want to understand what's new and what's old that remains intact.
See, old is our commitment towards quality and towards the best possible service that we can provide to the customer. That is something that has been bred into the brand and our company from day one. It roots not only from my father, but from my grandfather as well.
Yeah, okay.
And so that is how our brand has developed. The trust that it has over the fast journey of 50 years, it's entirely based on the reliability of the quality and the services that we provide. So that's something that is there and will always be there with Amba brand. The new, I would say, is that we have now become more advanced in terms of technological concepts that are coming in. We are now we have diversified into a lot more different sort of products that we want to provide. We have every quality of TMT that the customer can ask for. We have improved our services to cut and bend bars that or like complete solutions that the builder can actually want. So those are new things catering to the new demands and adapting towards that. I would say that is the new age thinking that we have brought in.
Yeah. That sounds like something. Do you have anything to add on to that?
Yes, I mean, again, quality is one of the most deep-rooted attributes that we received. And to grow further, we just wanted to be best at everything. We just wanted to have the best power figures. We wanted to have the best performance figures. We wanted the best mills. We wanted the best furnaces. And overall, we just wanted to give the customer a best experience possible in the market. That is the reason why they're coming back to us.
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, most of them are repeat customers. They are just coming back to us because of that commitment to consistency that we've been able to deliver. And with time, we have evolved. And further, we will keep evolving. We will keep bringing up new plants, increasing the production capacity so that we meet the demand of these people.
Yeah. So that's where the future of Amba Shakti is. It's in increasing capacity, it's in increasing manufacturing, and it's in increasing the research that goes into keeping this quality intact.
Yes. So we
focus on sustainability.
Yeah, focus on sustainability.
Yes. So we want to keep carrying that mantle of being pioneers in our fields, and we want to keep going forward in that way.
Yeah. How does it feel? This is like a candid, off-cut question, but how does it feel to be responsible for something so big, so trusted? Do you have moments where you might feel nervous thinking that, oh, can I carry the same trust forward? Because if you set a benchmark, there is no way you can you can fall even slightly short of that. So what are the moments like when you want to keep creating the benchmark, you want to keep pushing it further and further?
See, whenever you meet someone who is into construction or he's building a house or anything, and they know about your company, and then they say that we're using your product, and we believe it was the best choice for us. Those are the moments that they inspire us to keep doing that, being better, to keep that trust alive. Because in the customer, when you see the happiness of using your product, that's all the push that you need.
That's fulfillment.
That's fulfillment, yes.
Fulfillment. Anything from you on this?
I mean, we understand that we have to do something. Like, it's not something that we need to be afraid of. It's a responsibility we need to execute.
Yeah.
And I feel that our generation is a little bit more furious. We need to, we are a little aggressive in getting the results on the table. If there's something that is not happening our way, we go back to the drawing board, we immediately start researching, and we immediately start executing. So it's not that, it's a responsibility that we can very well handle. And people can trust us. They have been trusting us for a long time.
Yeah.
And in fact, they should stay active, and they should keep following us, because we are constantly coming up with new products, new ways of making the whole experience better.
So that was the conversation, I think, that we wanted to have, about Amba Shakti. We wanted to explore with the two of you what the future is going to look like. How does it, what are the things that already set Amba Shakti apart? Like you kept saying that, you are the pioneer in your own field. So what are the reasons that has, driven those, that growth story? And I think one of the most substantial takeaways, for me at least, from this conversation was the entire idea of green steel, was the entire idea of recycling. And I don't think that we hold enough manufacturers, accountable for this. But to know that Amba Shakti has been able to not just improvise, but is trying to do this by themselves, that actually makes me feel very good, knowing that there is a company that operates out of my land and soil, but they're doing it responsibly. So thank you very much for the conversation. Any last closing notes that you might have, anything that you have to say?
I think it's important for customers to keep a check on what they're buying, and it's an awareness that they need, because as mentioned earlier, a house or a home, in fact, is built once or twice in a person's life. So just go for the best product that you can. Look, check, keep asking questions, and make sure you have the best product. So that is all that I would want to say to the customers.
Right.
Just go on the internet, spend 10 minutes of your lives and start researching.
Okay.
Everything is available, and just go for a brand that is reputed and they have been able to deliver.
Right.
So go to them and ask for your product. They will definitely give it to you.
Right. I want to also ask you about the future of Amba Shakti Group. What are you eyeing? And I mean, if you could touch upon the numbers a little bit, to sort of just, it becomes easier for us to also track the growth that you're speaking about.
So Amba Shakti right now does a turnover of about 3,000 to 3,500 crores.
Okay.
And in the next 2 years, we are looking to cross the 5,000 crore mark.
Okay.
And with the kind of expansions that we are planning right now, we should go beyond the 10,000 crore mark in the next 5 years.
Oh,
so that is our growth projection.
Okay.
And we are very excited for that, to make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. And again, how are you planning that this will pan out in the next 10 years when you say that these are the numbers you're planning to hit? How does that happening? Expansion is the road to go?
Yes, expansion, we are going to expand, and we are thinking of adding a new vertical towards our business.
Okay.
We want to command at least 2 more factors in the pricing strategy, and we hope that doing so, we will be able to grow faster, and we will be able to accommodate towards the competitive pricing in the market.
Okay, that sounds good. That was one explosive conversation that we had with Dhruv Goel and Akshat Goel, the managing directors of the Amba Shakti Group. They talk about what the next generation is looking at. They're also keeping intact what the older generations have handed them. And that culmination is exactly what makes this case study so interesting. On top of it, of course, green steel and sustainable energy. So all that and a lot more in the conversation that we just had with the managing directors of the Amba Shakti Group.